I'm trying to think of some ideas that maybe when these things are happening, so that maybe the period of when the attack is actually taking place, it could be less for you. And so maybe some ideas of ways that you might be able to calm yourself. If there's a place that you really enjoy being, or a person you really enjoy being with, that maybe you can kind of think about that. Or if there's anything that might be able to kind of settle you. Um, Whenever there's been a situation where you've been upset in the past, um, what are some things that have helped to alleviate you from that?
Just talking with friends, or um, just getting through it. I don't know how else to explain it. But usually I just talk with friends or my mom or somebody, and we kind of talk through it, and that helps.
Do you think while you're going through this physical alteration that you would be able to talk on the phone with someone,
I
or
don't think so.
okay? Do you think there's any other things that maybe that you could try that might work to help to lessen the fear? I know we've talked about, okay, I know it's a panic attack, so that might bring the anxiety down a little bit. I know that I've had these before and I've made it through. They're uncomfortable, they're scary, and they do interfere with my life, it sounds like. Um, those things, but is there anything that maybe you can think of that you might be able to use to kind of support you through that time? Through
Mm, I don't know. I was kind of hoping maybe you would have some ideas. That's why I'm here.
Okay. Well, what about maybe, is there any type of music that, suits you, or is music something that's comforting to you, or,
Not kind of when I'm like that. I'm thinking not.
okay. Um, I hear you say, I heard you say movement, but walking during something like that might not be effective. Do you think that there's something that you could do, a rocking, or if you were nearby a swing, you could swing? Do you have a swing in your backyard, or is
I'm
it
not. It's not really happened at home. Generally, sometimes I'm driving. I have to really kind of pull over and.
while you're driving?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that sounds like it's affecting you and affecting your transport, and pulling over is a good choice. Driving like that is probably not the way to go. Um, hmm. Well, I'm trying to think of some ideas and some things that maybe you think you might be able to do that would help you through those. And I mean, there's some people that do, they take medication, and I don't know if that's something that you're looking to do, that when they have a panic attack, or even before they have a panic attack, they start, with medication. Um, I'm not sure what choices you want to make as far, because really it's up to you what you want to do here. I know you come to me, and I may have some um, expertise or some papers, with a big, letter behind it or whatever, but really you're going to know better what's going to work for you, because what will work for me and what might work for another client may not work for you. So maybe we can talk about some ideas of, or just kind of brainstorm together some things that you think would be helpful. Um, there's also techniques I know that you could, take yourself to a relaxation point, and then you could, we could work on this, and you could press um, places on your arm or your hand, and it's kind of like you're making a recording. So like you get yourself into a very relaxed state, in a place where you feel very, very calm, and then you touch on a spot on your hand or your arm, and it's like you're recording that feeling to that spot. And some people have, during times of stress, panic, they're able to press that spot, and it's like it plays that recording back of that calm situation, of that calm, serene, wherever they were before. Do you think that's something that you want to try to do, or
Yeah, that sounds like it would be something that would be useful.
okay, okay? Um, Well, we can work on that. We can work on getting you into a relaxed state and triggering those and recording those and see how those work for you. Um, and I hear that they're interfering with your life and making changes for you. If something were to happen, if some magical fairy came down and you had no more panic attacks and this was over for you, what would your life look like at that point?
I just wouldn't have the panic attacks, which would be really nice.
Okay, you'd be able to drive. You wouldn't have to pull over on the
Right,
street. This fear would be gone, and the
right.
sense that you're having, because I hear you say that now you're just even worried that you're going to have them.
Yes.
And what type of feelings do you have based off that when you start worrying about that?
Well, that those feelings are going to cause one to happen, that they're going to start happening more. And I feel really out of control of everything right now because it just, they're so intense and I just don't know when they're going to happen. So, and then I worry about that a lot.
Okay. Um, do you think that there's something that you can do when you start to worry about it, that you could alter your thought pattern, that maybe instead of oh, am I going to have one today, or is it going to happen today while I'm driving, that there's something else that you could do to occupy your mind, um, whenever you're sitting waiting for something, being impatient, is there something that you do when you're like a mental game that you play, or any obviously reading while you're driving isn't going to work, so is there anything that you can do, um, or that you do to help your mind move from one thought to another?
Mm, not really. I kind of just focus on not having one, which just feels really stressful.
Okay, yes, well, it sounds like it's stressful, so let's see what we can do. Um, just to get the idea of when you start to have this fear that I'm going to have a pet, am I going to have one, and it starts to make you feel um, out of control. Um, Maybe we can think of some ways where you can be back in control. So instead of those thoughts kind of escaping or kind of taking you over, um, what kind of things can we do to change that channel? That we could change the channel and input something different, um, for you to think about, or a different place for you to go. And it's probably not going to be easy at first because this is a fear that you have and you're concerned about it, and it's not easy just to flip from one place to another. Um, but the more you practice it, maybe the better that you'll be. And so I'm wondering, do you think maybe something like that might work for you? And then if you do, what could we change that channel to? What are some things that you do feel comfortable with? What are some things you do like to think about? What are some things that, make you feel relaxed? Do you garden or have animals, or is art something that works for you? I heard you say music isn't something that usually takes you away. Is there?
Mm, um, I have a little dog, I mean, that I love.
Yeah, yeah. And does that help when you're with your dog? Does it help you to feel kind of in control and calm when you're with your dog?
Yeah.
And I heard you also say that movement works for you, that movement helps. So when these feelings start to kind of come, and it sounds like those are happening more frequently than outside of you driving. So if they're happening at home, um, this is something that you can be in control of. You can control what you decide, to either place in your mind